Yeah, so I guess development and production, jumbo development, they're separate in a way but can be tied together. So if you start with the actual jumbo development, that's the development, the accesses, the tunnels to get to the ore body to pave the way for the bulk production, which is the bulk extraction of the ore. So your waste, like your decline development, that's your travel way to get down there. So if your jumbo development is 30% below, so anticipating that they were chasing about 1,000 metres close to, and they've only got 800, that means so down 1,100. Geez, the maths is getting a bit rough now. I've left the engineering scene. So everything sort of gets delayed. So your decline development means you're accessing levels later on. You might be your ore drive development might be, if that's reduced, then your stopes are then pushed out. So the whole schedule sort of pushes forward. It's like when we talked about the slashing, how it just delays everything. So it does have a flow-on effect. It mightn't be in this quarter, but it might be in a year's time that they mightn't get to an ore body as quick. So that's where the jumbo development comes in. But when you have the mill shut down, so this is a paste fill mine, it appears, I haven't been there, but it is paste fill. So that means that they extract every single bit of ore and they fill the stopes. So the 20 by 20 by 50 metres high, for instance, they fill that big chunk with paste. And then that paste is a big chunk of cement, essentially, and then they can mine the rock adjacent to that cement and get full extraction of the ore. That paste is made up of like a cement mixed with mill tailings. So all the mill tailings are when they process the nickel, it's all the shit that comes out the back end. That's called tailings. So instead of sending most of it to the tailings dam, they'll mix cement with it, pump it back underground and fill the voids that are created from the stopes. If you shut down the mill, you don't produce tailings, which means you don't produce paste. So if you've got a planned mill shutdown, this will be taken into account in the schedule. But if that mill shutdown then is overrun due to, which appears what happens here, so the subsequent stopes are then all pushed out in the schedule because you haven't been able to fill the predecessor stope, which then delays the access to the subsequent stope, and then that just flows on from there because it is a sequence-driven schedule. You can't mine number two without mining number one. You can't just skip it because you start losing ore. So it does have a big impact, and as I said, some mines have supplementary fill. So Gwalia, for instance, this is what it used to be like. I'm not sure if it still is. They could use old mill tailings and mix it with tailings and cement, and they could just pump as much paste in there as they want. Whereas mines like this, and it's something to consider with mines like greenfield mines like DeGrussa was like this. I would think Liontown will be like this. There is always a very hard balance between backfill and mining because you need to be mining the ore to generate the paste to fill the thing. So if you have shutdowns and you get behind, you have to start chucking extra fill in. So DeGrussa, for instance, they had to put extra cemented rock fill in, so mix waste with cement to actually make up that gap that the paste fell behind in.
And I think it really...
Something to consider.
Yeah, I think it really highlights that when a mine does fall behind on production and looks like it won't meet guidance, it is awfully hard to catch that production.
Well, the backfill's the biggest one because you can't catch up fill when you're in that balance with paste. It's a tough one to get your head around, but you just can't catch it up. You have to get extra fill created to actually do it. So it's definitely a risk for paste fill operations.
Perfect, Matty. Great.
Oh, hey, God, happy to help, lads. Happy to help. No dramas at all.